Osun State.
Now to the big issue for the day. The internal crisis in the People's Democratic Party seems not over, with counter-accusations from party stalwarts on the failure of the party to win the 2023 presidential election. A chieftain of the party and member of the board of trustees of the party, Bode George, has denied claims that he did not support the presidential ambition of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 election because Atiku Abubakar is not from his region. Bode George, who recently declined his appointment to the PDP National Disciplinary Committee, addressed the issue on our program Politics on Sunday, as refuted the claims made by Atiku's camp.
I don't know who Polibe is. I don't know who he is. But that statement he made, he needs to go before the Almighty God to seek for forgiveness. He has no idea about what he's talking about. When Buhari contested with Atiku Abubakar, they came to the Southwest. I was in the forefront because at that time, the zoning gave the North to present a presidential candidate. I knew what I did here in Lagos. I knew what I did, even for the first lady, his first wife, what we did here. Because we followed the party's constitution, the concept of operation of the party. And I just read to you that particular section of the constitution of our party. That was not held on to. And I'm appealing. Is my good friend. Let me tell you, I have no iota of any tribalism in my blood. My best friend today was a gentleman that I met in the Navy.
To help examine the internal wrangling in the People's Democratic Party and plans for Edo and Ondo elections is the National Publicity Secretary of the party, Debo Ologunagba. He joins me from our Abuja studios. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Ologunagba. Let's begin with the reconciliation and disciplinary move in your party. Unfortunately, it's already meeting brick wall with the exchange between Chief Bode George and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. What is the way forward?
Good evening, Bosside. Thank you for having me. I hope there's no obsession about the PDP and the so-called internal wranglings. The PDP is a party that is properly formed, baked, and this party continues to be a bastion of democracy. And you know that when you have a political party, what defines a political party is the fact that it is comprised of different individuals with different backgrounds, with different considerations, with contestation of ideas and interests. But it's the capacity of a party to bring and reconcile these conflicting interests that makes it a political party. And with all due respect, the PDP has been able, as a truly democratic party, been able to bring about the coalescing of these different opinions and views into becoming a solid party that's been here since 1999. And so that tells you that this is a party that was well-founded on these policies, on its missions and vision, as well as a very solid constitution, which guides all our processes. So when you begin to talk about the fact that, oh, the PDP has an unending crisis, that will not be correct, and I don't agree with you. Do we have challenges as a political party? Yes, we do. That is the makeup of political parties. And that's what distinguishes one political party from the other. There might seem to be some peace, which I can always describe as a piece of the graveyard in other political parties, In PDP, we allow for expression of opinions. And when you are expressing several views and opinions, you're going to come with this kind of a perception that, oh, they are always fighting. Indeed, we're not. And the reason we're able to get along all these years is the fact that the constitution of the party makes very copious provisions and set of organs that allow for organizing of the party and ensuring that each of the various organs of the party work in harmony to ensure the continuous existence of the party and strong. Under the constitution of the party, we have various organs. We have the BOT, we have the National Working Committee, we have the Governors Forum, we have the various state organs and chapters, and they all work in harmony. Do we have challenges? Yes, we do, and we can't shy away from that. And like I said earlier, those are the ingredients of a political party in a democratic setting. So it is not correct that we have an unending crisis. Indeed, we have challenges which we are resolving. And of course, at the last NEC meeting, the National Executive Committee of the party came to a resolution and directed that, in line with the provision of the Constitution, that two bodies should be established, which is the Reconciliation Committee and, of course, the Disciplinary Committee. We are leaning more into the area of reconciliation because that is the essence of political parties, to reconcile differences and find a common goal. And that's what we're doing. Those bodies have been set up, and they've started their work, and we're very confident because what is important, I must make this fact, we're equally very excited each time because Nigerians are interested in the PDP. And so they are very concerned about how we run our affairs to ensure, because that remains the hope of the Nigerian people. Because they remember with nostalgia the 16 years, the glorious years of this country under the PDP. And so they look up to us to ensure that we quickly get our acts together so that we can put ourselves very well in a position where we can equally recreate that which we created for 16 years, where the economy of this country was one of the best in Africa, where it was destination for foreign investment, where the capital market was the best in Africa, where Nigeria was able to pay off its debts, and the human capital index was improving. Unemployment was down, and of course, the security of this country cannot be compared to what it is now. So that is what PDP is, and we are working, it's a work in progress to ensure that we continue to provide that platform for Nigerians to hope for a better tomorrow.
All right, Mr. Ologunagba, we need to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue from where we stopped. Please stay with us. The program continues shortly. You're watching Beyond 100 Days, and my guest is the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Debo Ologunagba. Mr. Ologunagba, before the break, you spoke about two bodies that your party has set up to resolve the internal challenges, or call it wranglings now, of your party, the PDP. But a member of the Board of Trustees, Bode George, has actually criticized the party's decision to set up a reconciliation and disciplinary committee before doing a postmortem of what led the party to where it is. How is the PDP hierarchy reacting to that?
Thank you very much. Number one, let me put the premise right. I am not here to join issue with any of our members, our respected elders, but we must set the record straight. When you talk about post-mortem, well, I'm not a doctor, but the ordinary meaning of post-mortem means a review of what has happened in the past that led to certain unforeseen circumstances or unpleasant outcome. I think reconciliation would include that. And with due respect to Chief Bode George, a man that I hold in high esteem, who is a member of the board of trustees of this party, who at one point was the deputy national chairman of this party, I would expect, with all due respect, that even when you have a setup, having regard to the esteemed position that he holds as a BOT member of the party, that even when you have concern about the non-perfection of whatever is set up, it is expected and behoves of him to ensure that you can begin to go towards perfection. Look, I cannot take away his right, and he says, I mean, anybody is entitled to say, look, I have been appointed to serve, but I decline to sign. Of course, that's within the right of Chief Bode George, whom, like I said earlier, is an elder statesman, well respected. But it does not mean that the fact that it doesn't meet a certain threshold set by him that the party is not doing well. Part of the post-mortem of the election in 2023 and probably before then is to do reconciliation. It is in the course of this that people can raise issues that will require attention. Because post-mortem, in medical science, to look at what caused that death, can we prevent that in the future? I think reconciliation is within that, but like I said, that is without due respect to whether he wants to serve or does not want to serve. It's within his right and without prejudice to that, and we respect that decision. But the party is focused on that based on the decision of the NEC that directed the establishment of those bodies, and the bodies have started. And we hope Chief Bode George will participate, maybe not as a member, but he must contribute because he's an elder statesman who has benefited immensely from this party. And I'm sure he's very proud of his service to this party. He wants to ensure that this party is well, because it is in the interest of Nigeria that this party survives, so that the dividend of democracy, we can have alternative views. And I'm sure Chief Bode George is in that track, and I respect him for that.
Okay, let's talk about the forthcoming elections in Edo and Ondo states. Starting with Edo,
correct.
Your candidate had been battling litigations until Monday when the Court of Appeal reaffirmed his re-election. Do you consider these litigations as distraction to his chances?
Well, first of all, we need to commend the court for finally putting this to rest. Some of these litigations were frivolous, like we said in law, but I haven't rested that. It was never affected the performance of Dr. Ighodalo, our candidate in the governorship election, or of our party, because we know these are all frivolous that are instigated from within or from outside. We don't know. However, what is important, and this is key to the election in Edo State, the Edo State people have a right to know who governs them. We know that former governor Adams Oshiomhole was part of the purveyor of these lies, saying that the man has been disqualified by court. And you recall the pitiable show of shame by him on Arise TV, where he said that the Court of Appeal had disqualified the candidate of the PDP. And when he was confronted by the interviewers, which is why we must commend your effort in bringing people to account when they come before your show, he said at that interview that Dr. Asue Ighodalo had been disqualified by the Court of Appeal. And when he was confronted to bring the judgment, he said it doesn't exist. So, I mean, that's like a line on national TV or international forum. But I haven't said that. Dr. Asue Ighodalo is on the street campaigning. He's engaging with the media. He's talking to the people through town hall meetings. He's gone to the diaspora to speak to people. Because this is a man with a sound quality, he's a banker, he's a lawyer, He's a man who is in the manufacturing industry, is a consultant, is a world-renowned individual who speaks to the language of the people. Contrast that to the APC candidate. The man has gone on a wall. He's been avoiding the people he intends to govern. He's run away. He will not show up on it. And I will ask you, Abosede, please, can you invite him to come to your show? Let him speak through you to Edo State people. I mean, you see someone who has been in the Senate, who is so uninspiring and has never moved a motion on the floor of the Senate. Again, we know we have a good candidate who is willing, who is able, who is credible, who has been campaigning, talking to the people, in contrast to the APC candidate that Oshomole is trying to proxy for. You don't campaign in advance for people. You don't campaign on their behalf. Let him have a conversation with the Edo people, and he's not doing that. That is the challenge in this election. We're confident we're going to win. That is why they're throwing everything at him, because they know they will lose, and we know we will win. The Edo people are with us, and we are happy about the outcome so far.
Mr. Ologunagba, your candidate is reported to be far from the grassroots, unlike his main opponent in the APC. How do you intend to convince the people of Edo?
Again, thank you very much. Those are part of the narrative that are based on propaganda, on lies, on misinformation, but it's not even catching up with the people. And that's why they are frustrated already. If the people are not that, I mean, the argument was that he couldn't speak the language. But I do know that Oshomolo's wife is not even a Nigerian. Does that disqualify him? In any event, this man has a root. The Godano family is a renowned family in Isha, and people know them. These are people who have contributed in the public service. And so for people to come around, go to Edo State. I know you're there. TVC is there. You are well known everywhere. Go to Edo State and find out what is happening on ground.
I hear you. I hear you. You're talking about the Ighodalo family in general. Others will talk about the Okpebolo family in general, the Oshomole family in general. But we're talking about the person of Asue Ighodalo.
I just said that to you because, again, the Asue Ighodalo did not drop from heaven. He has a family root, and that is where you talk about. So for anybody to say he's far from the people, it's completely untrue. And if indeed very far from the people, then they shouldn't bother about his candidature. They shouldn't bother about his candidature. But we know he is with the people. And go to the street of Edo State, and you see the euphoria is a movement. They are afraid. And we are inviting Okpebolo to have a conversation, have a TV debate, have a campaign debate with the candidate of the APC, Dr. Asue Ighodalo, who is an outstanding performer, and they are afraid of this. The Edo people are so very important.
I hear you, but
they are educated, and you can't just pull a wool over their face.
I hear you. There is another election ahead, and that's the Ondo election. And it does appear the PDP has been witnessing a wave of defections. And your party will actually be slugging it out with an incumbent governor.
Yes.
What is your confidence going into this poll?
Let me tell you straight up, so that Abosede, thank you for asking that question. I am from Ondo State, where we have a DNA of people that decide their fate. You recall that in the days of the PDP as a Bilhaman, Governor Mimiko brought in Labour Party, and we won because we know where we're going to. In this election in Ondo State, the PDP will win. And the reason is this. The people, this is a referendum on the performance of the APC, both at the national and at the state level. There's hunger on the street. There's insecurity. People are dying. Only 2 weeks ago, from my own community of Okakuko, a young man was killed in his farm. That's his Sinkiri in his farm, peacefully. In down south, some other person were killed. Now, what is on the ballot in Ondo State is security and the welfare of the people. And those people are very sophisticated when it comes to that. Conversely, there have been several decampment from the APC and other parties to the PDP because it's a referendum on the failure, monumental failure of the APC in Ondo State. They know that. And that's why they talk about all of these. They talk about incumbency. There was incumbency before when we won in Ondo State because it's a people that believes in having dignity in their life. They are ready to move ahead, and I can tell you this. We have a good candidate who is experienced, who has been in the APC, he understands the game there, who was in PDP and the House of Reps, and he did exceedingly well in the House of Reps. We are very confident. I'm from Ondo State. That tells you that we have a DNA of people that decide what we want to go to. We have decided to go with PDP in Ondo State. I can guarantee you we will win that election clear and clear. And if there's any record of so-called decampment, go check it out. From the south to the central to the northern zones, we have daily, because people are frustrated.
Mr. Ologunagba,
has no family. There's no division in hunger. People are hungry.
I hear you, but we
this
really do need
on APC. APC has failed in Ondo State, and they know they will fail in this election coming.
I hear you. Thank you so much for talking to us. We can go on and on, but I'm afraid, time is not our friend. But we'd really do love to have you more regularly to, talk about these issues and address them. Debo Ologunagba
I'm here for you. Talk to me anytime. This is the campaign season. This is our nation season. I'm available at your call. I'll be available. Thank you very, very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Well, that's our program today.